Welcome back, everyone. This is Geranitis bringing you Feed the Beast 1710. Today we are starting on episode 41, and today we are hoping to possibly get our cake factory and our improved mana production going. So first thing I want to do is I want to create some lasers from Buildcraft. It's actually from Buildcraft Silicon, but whatever. They can call it whatever they want to. They're still lasers, and it's still Buildcraft. So we're going to go ahead and make 6 of these. We're going to be using this to help automate the overall usage of things. I'll show you how this is going to work out in a minute. We're also going to need an assembly table to go along with. And the assembly table is... Ooh, I forgot I needed a diamond gear for this. I wonder if this is... Okay, there's only one diamond gear and the gold gear is... Okay, I have multiple gold gears, but the diamond gear should be able to work just fine. We should be able to put a piece of iron, 4 pieces of gold, and I should be able to make a directly gold gear. At least I think I can. Yeah, I can. There we go. And then the diamond gear is just to combine that. So, yay. And then we have the assembly table ready to rock. Alright, did a couple things preparing for this between episodes because I know that getting this whole assembly going beforehand, getting this whole setup going in one episode is going to be difficult. So I went ahead and ran some energy conduits up here. So I should be able to now go like that and then place this thing right here, and that should activate correctly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a wooden chest right next to this. The way that the lasers work is what you make, the lasers provide the power. You put the ingredients in the assembly table to make the assembly table start making things, and then when it is finished, it automatically ejects itself into an adjacent inventory. Now, I'm hoping it doesn't try to... No, that's not technically an inventory, so that shouldn't work. So it should go ahead and put itself in here. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to want to do is we're going to want to start making some gates. Gates are used for all kinds of different things. You can use them to help do a lot of things, but we're going to get into them one at a time as we use them. I want to make a basic gate. Okay, and it's going to require red pipe wire and some redstone chipset. The redstone pipe wire is any kind of red dye, redstone, and an iron ingot. And the redstone chipset is just redstone. So let's go ahead and put some redstone in here. And now it shows you the option of creating the redstone chipset. So we click right here and it highlights it, and it should show that we are now functioning. Alright, and there you see the lasers are coming on, and they change color as they warm up. And the more lasers you have, the faster it creates what you're trying to create. So, yay. Alright, we're also going to need... We're going to make a couple pieces of red pipe wire. Let's see. Gems, dust, and dyes should have my red. Maybe I put it back in growing stuff. Yeah, there it is. So we're going to require several of these. So we're just going to go ahead and put these in here and tell it to go ahead and be making this stuff. And we should already have, yep, there we go, our first redstone chipset. So we're going to let this run for a second while we go ahead and put together some of our other things. Okay? First thing we're going to need to continue on with this is an autonomous activator, or 3. The autonomous activator is a really cool thing from thermal expansion, and it basically allows you to have... It's basically a fake player, and you can have it left and right click things for you. You can use it to kill enemies by having it left click them. You can have it harvest plants or plant things or whatever right click things in the world. Okay? So we're going to need a couple of pneumatic servos, some tin gears, piston, and chest. The pneumatic servo being iron, glass, and redstone. So let's see. Let's just go ahead and grab a bunch of iron because we're going to run through a bunch of it. We've already got some redstone with me. I don't think I need any more obsidian. Let's put that back. And the other thing I was going to need was the glass, which should be over here in our random block section. Excellent. Alrighty. And yes, I'm making more of these than I need because I don't want to have to make them again next time. So we're going to use 3 autonomous activators to start out. So there's 3 servos. Along with this, we're going to need 3 pistons, which we have here. And then we're going to need 3 chests and then 6 tin gears, which I should be able to make the tin gears the same way as I made the gold gears. I've really got to get into 816. It's actually going to be... Oh, whoops. I gotta get into applied energistics because, like, reasons. And that's actually only gonna make 4, and I needed 6 because math eludes me. Alright, so we should be able to, not 4 more, 8 more. Don't worry, I'll catch up eventually. Alright, good. So now we should be able to go ahead and grab a couple of chests out of our wooden stuff things. Let's see. See, this time I can find the chests. Last episode. Speaking of last episode, I know why I had lag issues. I had lag issues because I'm a doofus. The lag issues were caused by the supreme lack of brains on my part. When I upgraded to the newer version of the pack and I said, hey, the newer version didn't work right, that was perfectly fine, except when I downgraded back to the older version of the pack, I forgot to reinstall Fastcraft, because Fastcraft is not included in the older version of the pack. So I downgraded and then went to playing, and I'm like, why is this so bad? No, this is so horrible. Nothing works. Because I was just not being smart at all. If I had half a brain, I'd have known that that was going to be an issue. Stop trying to make that. See, it used to be that you could stop trying to make stuff like this, but now they're being a butt about it. So I'll just take the redstone out of there. All right, and this should get me my first gate. Come on. Bingo. All right, now to use this gate, I'm going to want to get myself a cobblestone structure pipe. Actually, I should be able to just look up structure. And we have here the cobblestone structure pipe. Basically, it is a support pipe. It doesn't actually do anything by itself. It is just there so that you can put gates on it and have the gates be monitoring something, because the gate can't be placed by itself in the world. All right, so cobblestone structure pipe is just cobblestone and glass, and then you put gravel with it to go ahead and make it into a structure pipe. So let's see, we're going to need, I've got the glass, I'm going to need 2 pieces of cobblestone, or 3, sure, why not? And we should be able to go ahead and put this and this with that. That's going to give me 8 of these, and then this to make the structure pipe. Alrighty, cool. Let's see, machine parts to ditch the rest of the stuff. Look at that. And we're almost ready to begin the automated milk production at this moment. So give me just a second. I'm thinking I'm forgetting something. Oh, that's right. I need somewhere to put the milk. I need a drum. Drum. I don't have a drum. Give me a second. I'm going to make a drum, and we'll be right back when we're ready to start putting this into actual automated functionality. All right, just a second. Alrighty, there we go. Now we're going to head over here and go say hi to the cow. Actually, what we're going to wind up doing... Oh, duh. By the way, I put the elevator in. And I also put a travel anchor, which I actually put there because I knew I was going to be going in and out of this room often right now. And I wanted to be able to just, you know, real quick just pop over there. But then I forget about it and walk over here anyway, so whatever. Alright, so here's the deal, Sparky. What we're going to wind up doing is, first off, I need to get the cow. I need to pick him up because I don't want to take a chance of him getting out and getting in the way while I'm working on this. Okay, actually, I didn't need to open that front one, but that's okay, too. Come here, cow. Come here, cow. Come here, cow. Thank you. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place the autonomous activators, okay? I can see where this is not going to all fit into one episode, but we're going to try it anyway. So we're going to place the autonomous activator here. Now, we can do this in a couple of different ways. I'm using the autonomous activators because in my testing, it has proven that the autonomous activators are actually the fastest way to gather milk, okay? And since we're going to be using 3 buckets of milk per cake, and we're going to be making a royal ton of cake, we're going to want to go ahead and have a whole bunch of these going at the same time. That way we can gather the stuff fast. Now this stuff, like I said, when you're using, you can use like I think it's a Rancher from Minecraft Reloaded. But first off, the Rancher requires power, and well, power is no fun to have to deal with. And secondly, it's just not as fast. The timer has to cycle down, and it can be aggravating to get things working exactly right. This way, it just works. It right-clicks the cow with a bucket. The bucket gets filled with milk because you right-clicked the cow, and then everything else goes to working. Okay, there's no countdown, there's no power to deal with. It just works. Okay, and that's why I prefer this method. It just worked all the time. All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to clear this area out. I'm going to have to clear this out a little bit more than this. Let's see, we're going to be running... Yeah, this should work. Alright, so we're going to have, like I said, there's buckets in each of the autonomous activators, okay? And the autonomous activators are currently set up with the redstone disabled. We're going to make it have a low setting, okay, which means that it only works if it has a low signal, or in this case, no redstone signal. That way we can turn them on and off with a redstone signal, okay? So now that we've got that configured, we want to go ahead and run a bunch of piping, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pause for a second to run this piping, and then I'll explain to you how I ran it, because otherwise it's going to take forever, and we don't want to do that. So give me just a second, and I'll run some pipe. I forgot one thing before I lay the pipe. I forgot to make one more machine, and it is the fluid tank from Ender.io. It's a very simple machine. It just actually I probably don't need to make iron bars. I should have some. Let's see, iron bars. And nope. Iron bars. And nope. Okay, well, so much for assuming I had something. This is actually going to be a very useful piece to have. It's actually going to automatically empty my buckets for me, so it's very cool. And we only need the one. Alrighty, cool. Now we're going to go lay some pipe. So give me just a second, and we're going to get this made. Actually, first off, let me show you. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put this right here. Alright, be right back. Alright, got pipe run. Now, I'll explain it to you really quickly because otherwise we'll be here forever. Basically, what I did was I did all three autonomous activators the same. Okay, I wound up having to use a fluid tank for each of them because otherwise, if I do it all through the same fluid tank, you wind up with all the buckets in one place eventually. Or, well, they'll get shuffled around a bunch and I'd rather keep them separated to themselves, okay? So basically, let's run with this one. This one here, we'll right-click the bucket, and then by setting one of these to input and one of these to output, and then connecting the item conduits the way that I have them set here. On the output, which is the orange one, I have it whitelisted with a basic upgrade to only extract milk buckets, okay? And that is set to always active, okay? It extracts the milk bucket, goes down through here, and it should wind up in here, okay? And then in here, we have this set for insert and extract. And that should put us in the extract mode. It extracts the empty buckets back out and puts them back up into here. Ooh, I forgot about that. I need to change the insert channel to a different color, and the extract with the filter here needs to change to a different color as well, because otherwise the milk buckets that are pulled out of here could go right back up in, and we don't want that. So I'm going to change that on the rest of these. Anyway, so that should be fine. We should be able to go ahead and, yeah, that's right. So that should be fine. Change these both to brown on all of them. I almost made that big mistake, because they can't all be green. It's not easy being green. Alright, so anyway, so now when we put the cow back, hopefully we can get the cow back in here, and this should work. Here, cow, get in there. Alright, and we should now start seeing milk buckets, and every now and then the cow will wind up floating in milk just because it's continuously running, but we now have the milk is starting to get stored in here. Full milk buckets wind up in here, get emptied out automatically, and then get piped back out. So awesome. This is filling up rather nicely. Alright, so now we also have it set so that fluid is being extracted from the bottom of all three of these and being moved over this way. Alright, so let's see. First things first, put this here, and what we're going to wind up doing is we're going to go ahead and put this drum here. Alright, and this drum should start filling with milk. Excellent. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in the redstone gate that we had made up already. I'm going to put that right here. So we're going to go ahead and place the cobblestone structure pipe. And then on the cobblestone structure pipe, we're going to place the basic gate, and that's going to go right here. Now, when we right-click the gate itself, it's going to give us a lot of options, okay? Basically, what we're going to do is, depending on what block you set it next to, we'll give you different options, okay? This one, since it is showing a liquid thing, says contains more than 25%, but we want to go with full. When the tank is full, we want it to give us a redstone signal. Okay, so when this tank is full, when this gets filled up, which is actually, holy crap, going to do really fast, when this gets full, this is going to emit a redstone signal. Now, what we want to do here is we want to go ahead and set this up. This is north. On the north face, we're going to set this to in and out, and we're going to tell it to give a strong signal. All right, so now when this drum gets full, which is going to happen here in just a second, we're actually going to see this happen. This will light up. When this lights up, it's because it has detected that this is full and is emitting a redstone signal, which is actually now. Okay, so now that you see that lit up, it's emitted a redstone signal, and now the autonomous activators are no longer running. And they should all wind up with 9 empty buckets back in them. Except that one, because that one has the bucket that I was using for setting up all the filters. So now we have a fully automated milk production system. Pretty sweet, huh? Now I can go ahead, what I might do, depending on how this works out, I might add more drums and then just have the one drum monitored, depending on how fast we burn through this, but we'll have to see. Alright, we're also getting lots of eggs, because these guys have been running for a little while as well. I don't know why we have that one egg kind of bouncing around there. It's one of the things about vacuum chests. It's why, vacuum hoppers, vacuum chests, I would tend to want to use the hopper hawk instead, because it just picks them up instead of doing the whole sucking them in. But, that's a whole another side of things. All right, cool. So we've got milk, we've got eggs. So now we need sugar and we need wheat. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do a couple of other things to get this part set up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to tear up the floor over here, because we are going to need a 3, 6, 7 by 7 area that I'm going to use as a farm area. All right, so give me just a second to set this up, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, now we're over here at my blood magic area, because this is going to be one of those things we're going to be doing. I'm going to be making myself a couple more master ritual stones. That being normal ritual stones and obsidian with my blood orb. So, where's my blood orb? You're standing on it, sir. Oh. So, 5 master ritual stones, thus leaving us with lots of ritual stones left. We're also going to need to go ahead and upgrade my ritual diviner with the correct thing so that it can place dusk runes, because what we're going to be doing is going to require using dusk runes. And as you might remember, I said we were going to do this later. It just requires the 2 elemental inscription tools of dusk, which is just a block of coal in the altar, and then some demonic slates. So now we have this upgraded. We have our 5 master ritual stones, and we have 48 ritual stones. Unfortunately, that's not enough. We're going to need to make a couple more. I believe those were just obsidian and yeah. Oh, but we can't do that because, yeah, they're on the sides. Whatever. Get out of the way. And then we need the blood orb. Alright, that should leave us with plenty of ritual stones. And we need to go ahead and put the blood orb back in there so we can go ahead and continue charging. Alright, so now that we have this ready, we can go ahead and get ourselves some rituals set up. Now, these are all going to run on rituals because, of course, creating cake is a rather hard thing to maintain, and we're going to be using this, hopefully, to maintain the cake production rather well. Alright, so we're going to be placing one here, 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 and here. And then directly in the center above, right there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go through this. Full Spring, Serenade of the Nether, Ritual of the Green Grove. We're going to be doing 4 Ritual of the Green Groves. Just like that. That. And that. All right, and then along with the Ritual of the Green Grove, which is going to make our stuff grow faster, we're going to go ahead and find the Reap of the Harvest Moon. The Reap of the Harvest Moon is the one that requires the Dusk Ritual, the Dusk Stones. Okay, and this is going to require 24, I believe, of these. So let's go ahead and make this up here. And yeah, awesome. All right, so now that we have this stuff in place, we can go ahead and get some things rolling. All right, first things first, we're going to need to go ahead and activate these Rituals of the Green Grove before we cover them over with dirt. All right, there we go. Those are all activated. And of course, the Ritual of the Green Grove requires, I'm wanting to say it's like 5,000 to activate, 5,000 LP to activate. I might be wrong on the number. I don't remember numbers very well, so bear with me on that one. All right, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and place dirt over the top of these. I don't think I'll ever need to turn these off. I considered running an off switch to them. By supplying them with a redstone signal, you can turn them on and off. So I was going to go ahead and route a redstone, the redstone conduit, and then have these all able to be turned off. I might still do it, but I'm not going to do it right now. Actually, I know for a fact that I will do it because I'm going to need to. But so now that we have that set up like this, we're going to plant the wheat and sugarcane here. Okay, and then once we get that planted, then we should be able to go ahead and activate this ritual, and this ritual will harvest any nearby crops and then replant them if seeds are available. Now, it will not pick up any of the items that it drops, so we'll have to arrange for that on our own. That vacuum chest is going to be a problem. Let me get this set up. We'll have to till the earth and place down the sugarcane and various other things, and we'll get this set up and be right back again, because otherwise we're never going to get the cake production actually functioning in this episode. So give me just another second. Alrighty, got this all laid out, and now we're going to go ahead and start planting things. Keep in mind that only the areas that are directly above the Ritual of the Green Grove are going to be accelerated growth-wise. But I'm going to go ahead and plant the other areas anyway, because, I mean, it may not be accelerated, but, you know, hey, it still counts, right? So we're going to go ahead and fill this stuff in like this, and we're going to go ahead and put the sugarcane around the outside edge. And I'm sure you guys can see already that this is growing rather quickly. Oh, I forgot to do the... Hang on a second. Now, some of these others will just grow slowly, and that's just the way it's going to be, and that's fine. But the accelerated ones will be accelerated, and as long as the space is there, I'm going to go ahead and put the other stuff here as well. Alright, so now when we stand back, you can see that stuff is growing rather rapidly. Alright, decided to get rid of the vacuum chest back here. It's just too much trouble to try to keep up with. We're just going to have one central hopper hawk. I stole the one from over there at the Pneumaticraft seed farm that failed, and put it over here. So now we're going to go ahead and right-click the Master Ritual Stone up here and activate the, I can't remember the name of it, the Rite of the Harvest Moon. That's what it's called. So, as you can see, this stuff's growing, and it is being harvested, and then it's being picked up and deposited over here. Except that stuff doesn't need to go there, nor does that. Alright, so now we're going to have to filter this stuff out, because we're not going to want to keep any of the seeds, feathers, and why isn't the sugarcane being harvested? Maybe the sugarcane has to grow one more tall before it'll harvest? Let's test that theory. Yep. Okay, so it needs to grow one higher. I wonder why that hasn't happened yet. It's accelerated growth. I hope I don't need to clear the ceiling a little bit further than that. Let's grab my Sigil of the Green Grove and add this to it. See if we can't get these sugarcane to grow one more tall without any help. And that doesn't need to be there. Well, we do need light, so go up there instead. And up there. And up there should be fine. It's kind of curious. I'm not seeing the sugarcane growing tall enough to actually be harvested. This could be a problem. Any sugarcane in here yet? No, still no sugarcane in here. That's kind of disturbing. It should be getting the accelerated growth just like the other stuff. As a matter of fact, I know it is because this will actually grow back up that way fairly quickly. We actually already saw it grow up. But it's not growing tall enough. It's a bit of a curiosity. I'm not sure what's going on there. Well, see, it just grew that far, but it's not going to grow up the third one. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll keep an eye on that for a minute, and we'll see if anything shows up over here as far as sugarcane goes. Oh, wait. We did get one. So is it just being super slow? If that's the case, then I'll have to actually put more sugarcane out here than wheat. I thought this would be a good ratio because wheat takes longer to grow, but the sugarcane seems to be taking its sweet time too. So we'll have to look into that as well. So in the meantime, now we have to run the other stuff. Okay, we're going to have to first off put a trash can down here. And we're going to go ahead and put the trash can. This space is getting awful cramped. We'll put the trash can right here. Okay, and we will go ahead and put one item conduit here. And we will go ahead and drop this in here and this in here. But we're going to need a feather and a seed. I probably shouldn't actually void these, but I'm going to anyway. Alright, so we're going to extract feathers and seeds. On the whitelist, it will be always active. And we will switch this over to insert. And now this should get rid of any seeds or feathers that wind up in here. I might decide to keep the seeds later, but I really don't need to. I have an excessively large amount of these. Alright, good. So that means that the next thing we're going to have to do is place a set of barrels to hold the proceeds of this, which is going to be the sugarcane, the wheat, and the eggs. It's just not going to work. Alright, well, we've got 16. You know what? I'm just going to take the sugarcane out. We've got no sugarcane in here. Let's let it run for a second while we put this other stuff together, and we'll come back and check on it here in just a minute and see what's what. So in the meantime, take me home. Alright, so the next thing we want to build is going to be some cyclic assemblers. Okay? The cyclic assemblers are basically the auto-crafting mechanic from thermal expansion. Okay, this is going to require copper gears, tin gears, basic machine frames, redstone reception coils, and chests. Let's see what all we've got handy. Well, there's 2 reception coils. Unfortunately, I need 3. And we're also going to need 3 machine casings. I've got 8, so that's fine. Alrighty, and well, we're running out of time, so let me craft this stuff up off camera, and I'll come back when I have 3 cyclic assemblers. Alright? Alright, now we've got the cyclic assemblers made, and we need to go ahead and make one other thing to go with the cyclic assembler, and that's going to be some schematics, okay? Schematics are just a couple pieces of paper and any kind of blue dye. Lapis will work nicely. I've got plenty of that. So let's go ahead and grab. We're going to need 3 of these, 1 for each assembler, and we'll need some paper. Sure, 7, because stopping at 6 wouldn't have made enough sense. Alright, so now with these cyclic assemblers, we're going to go back over here. I went ahead and ran a little bit of piping, just a tiny bit, running from the drum here over to this section right here. Now, just for proof of concept, we're going to place this down right here. This should immediately start filling, and yep, bingo. You see it turn that signal off, and now we have milk flowing back into the drum, and Bingo, now we're back on. So cool. Automatically turns those off. I love it. I love it. It's awesome. All right, cool. So the cyclic assembler is really cool in the fact that it can actually craft with liquids. Okay, so what we're going to wind up doing here is we're going to go ahead and, let's see, we're going to have another cyclic assembler here and another one here. These are all going to require power, and we brought ourselves a Stirling generator to go ahead and be the power supply for this. I already got it set up with an octadic capacitor, and we should be able to just run energy conduits to these three, and they should start filling up. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go upstairs and grab a couple blocks of coal to keep this running, but in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and put a schematic in each of these. Okay. All right, cool. So now that we have a schematic in each of these, we're going to go ahead and grab the... Yeah, I'm going to have to upgrade this to a different kind of chest. Anyway, so we're going to need an egg, a piece of wheat. Actually, we're going to need a couple pieces of wheat and a couple pieces of the sugar cane that we're not getting very much of. I definitely have to do something about that. So when you're in the cyclic assembler, when you have a blank schematic here, if you click the schematic button here, when you click this, it brings up the schematic. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and put in the schematic of what you want it to make. In this case, we're going to put 1 piece of wheat equals 1 wheat flour, and we're going to go ahead and check mark it. Okay, so now it shows that we are making 1 wheat flour. Okay, so when we place wheat into this inventory, it automatically makes it into wheat flour. Cool? Cool. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put a barrel on top here. And we're going to go ahead and tell this thing that it is going to output to the top. And input from the bottom. All right, so now we have wheat flour being stored here, right? All right, so then this one on the other side is going to do our sugar cane. 1 sugar cane equals 1 sugar, check mark. And we're going to go ahead and put this to output out the top as well, and input from the bottom. So we should be able to go ahead and toss our sugar cane in here, and it will automatically convert it all into sugar. And now this one gets a barrel as well. And now we have sugar being stored as well. No. And we're going to lock that. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place another barrel. Actually, we don't really need to use this barrel. We have a barrel already. Let's see. Diamond monster. What do I have on the monster spawner? Oh, that must be that blaze spawner I caught like so many episodes ago. All right, so and now we have the barrel with the eggs. No, don't face that way. Face this way. Sweet. Alrighty. So now, get off of there. We lock that down with that as well. So now we have all the ingredients necessary to make cake. Alright, so now we're going to use one more thing. And we're also going to go ahead and actually, before I walk back away, let's go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and put this, that's going to run out this way. And I wonder if I should actually run this up to where you can see how much cake is in the barrel upstairs. Because when I finish this build, the only reason to come down here is going to be to check and make sure that everything still is as it should be. I will probably go ahead and run this up through the top. I'll pick a space up top for that. Yeah, I'll definitely do it that way because I don't ever want to have to come down here. This is like the messiest build I've done. It's not really that it's messy. It's very compact. There's not a lot of walking space, and that's a thing with me. I don't know. We'll have to see how this works out. So anyway, we're going to go ahead upstairs, and we're going to go ahead and make not one more. We're going to make a couple more of the same thing to go ahead and get this all set up to work correctly, all right? So let's see. What we're going to be making is going to be a translocator. All right, and this is from the mod translocator. All right, we're going to be making some item translocators, okay? So we're going to need, it makes 2 per. So we're going to need a total of 4. So we're going to need 2 pistons, 2 iron, redstone, gold, and so on. So we should never right-click with the wrench. Let's see. 2 pistons, 2 ender pearls, 8 redstone, 2 gold, and 4 iron. That's what it is. All right, and we should be able to go ahead and make ourselves some item translocators. Excellent. All right, we're going to need the total of 4, and we're going to need to go ahead and make a diamond nugget. It's kind of stinks that we have to make 9 nuggets when we really only need 1, but, well, that's okay. So translocators are really cool in that they can transfer items from one storage container into another one, and you can actually specify how you want them to function. I'll demonstrate this instead of telling you because it's a lot easier just to show you. We won't be able to see that that's eggs anymore, but that's okay. Shift right click, shift right click, shift right click, and then here on the cyclic assembler, making sure that that is a blue facing up because that is an input. We're going to go ahead and we're going to select this one right here. Now we're going to go ahead and put the diamond nugget. Now we can go ahead and right click on this and we can filter it. The diamond nugget is going to make it so that this is the one that they all flow into, and we can have multiples flow into it. All right, so on this one here, we're going to tell it to go ahead and keep 16 eggs. All right, we're going to need a piece of sugar and a piece of wheat flour, and we're going to go ahead and tell it to keep, 16 sugar, and then we're going to tell it to go ahead and keep 16 wheat flour in here as well. All right, now let me grab some of this stuff. We're going to need, come on. We'll just go ahead and get this stuff processed real quick because I need to run these pipes and it's just not going to happen right now. I'll have to do that in between episodes. So this is going to go ahead and process and get all that. And of course the sugarcane is still being a problem, which by the way, I figured out why the sugarcane is a problem. The sugarcane, the Ritual of the Green Grove, is accelerating only the bottom layer of the sugarcane. So it will grow to its second tier really quickly because it is fertilizing the bottom tier and thus making the second tier grow faster. And you'll see because this stuff will pop up pretty quickly. See, right that quickly. But it is still fertilizing the bottom tier, which does not make the third tier grow. Okay, you have to fertilize the second tier to make the third tier grow. So it's really good at growing up to the second tier, but it won't harvest until it hits the third tier, and the third tier won't grow unless it just happens to do it by itself. So accelerating the sugarcane really isn't helping in this case. So I'll have to come up with something to do with that in the meantime. But for now, go ahead and do that, and that, and that. Get rid of that. And now, when we right-click on the center of this, it's going to go ahead and now we have it saying 16, 16, and 16. When we right-click on the center of this, you guys will see all of a sudden a bunch of stuff come pouring out of each of these into the center here. All right, so now when we look in here, it has 16 of each ready to go. Awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make sure that this is an input. The output's going to be on the back. And we're going to go ahead and in this schematic, we're going to make cake. And I completely forgot about that one little thing. To program it for a bucket of milk, I have to have a bucket of milk. So let's stop the cows floating. We should be able to do that. Hello. Okay, I don't know how I did that, but whatever. All right, so when we go in here, in the schematic, we're going to go bucket of milk, bucket of milk, bucket of milk. And then we're going to steal an egg. And then we're going to steal some sugar. And now, as you can see, as I'm taking it out of here, it's refilling it. All right, and now that makes cake. Now watch this. This is going to be awesome. And check mark. Boom, instantly made 3 cake, and now we're just sitting here waiting for more milk to show up, which for some reason milk isn't showing up. Why isn't milk showing up? It should be showing up. Oh, because I forgot to leave the bottom as an input as well, because that's where the milk comes from. So as it fills up, each time it gets 3 milk, it's going to go ahead and make a cake. And, well, we already are having problems because we don't have enough sugar. So, again, we're going to have to figure out something to do with the sugar cane. I'll have to figure out how to do that off camera because we are way over time for the episode already. So, this is technically a successful sugar cake farm. It's a cake factory that will function. In between episodes, I'm going to pick a spot upstairs to have the cake barrel showing. That way, while we're up here, we'll be able to, have a cake barrel sitting there. And I will also make it so that we have a redstone lever. When we flip the lever, it will automatically, well, you know what, we're just going to have to, we're making cake now. Using the cake will come next episode because there's just no way. All right, so I hate to stop like this, but I have to because we are out of time. So next episode, we're going to go ahead and put the cake factory into use after I figure out the sugarcane situation, and we'll get some massive mana production. So until next time, this is Jarenitis signing off on episode 41 of my Let's Play series. Like me if you like me, subscribe if you want to see what we get into next, and as always, help spread the gaming.